the Crusader Genesis Starliner, the RSI Orion, which is RSI's mining platform, not a ship, a platform. I'll talk more about that in a second, and the RSI Lynx are all newly added deliverables on the progress tracker as reported on the August 11th roadmap roundup. There is a wealth of new information on here. We should dive right in. A lot of it very exciting. Okay, starting with newly added deliverables, targeting version 2. Expansion of the targeting system to support missiles with improved management of targets for both the pilot and crew of the ship. Going against a larger target, you can now target subsystems with the missiles. Most likely, that's what I think it will be. Plasma ammunition, incendiary ammunition, disarray ammunition, different types of ammo coming our way. Ships like the Perseus will no doubt greatly benefit from these different kinds of ammo. They've mentioned that the bespoke weapons on the Perseus will definitely be able to do this. So what is plasma ammunition? Further work on this damage type will cause damage over time to actors, vehicles, and ships. Larger weapons of this type will also leave behind a hazard, causing further damage to anything in close proximity to it. Interesting. So anything close to that gets damaged too. That's kind of like fire, but not. So incendiary ammunition is fire. This is a new ballistic projectile that burns on impact, causing the target to take damage over time. We've seen that ammo in other kind of games. I don't think much more needs to be explained about that. Disarray ammunition, which is basically what they are calling their EMP type ammo. This newly charged ballistic projectile that emits an electromagnetic pulse, helping not only damage that target but also disrupt its power systems. Now, next up is space mines. Nautilus owners rejoice. Space mines have been added to the deliverables. In space, players in certain ships will gain the ability to release different kinds of space mines in a coordinated fashion in an attempt to trap, damage, and capture enemies or set up defensive perimeters. So, that is interesting because we'll see different kinds of mines simply beyond exploding. I suspect EMP mines or even mines which will trap like a quantum snare perhaps. That makes perfect sense. I think the Nautilus just became a lot more interesting. Save load. This feature will handle creation of a save system across Squadron 42. Well, obviously you're playing the game, it's a single player game, you want to save at some point, you'll need that, makes sense. Aerodynamic control surfaces. Finally, a lot of us with ships which have wings are looking forward to being a lot more maneuverable in atmosphere, and this is what this will do. Ships with control surfaces will be able to use them in atmosphere to aid their maneuverability. This will allow for improved performance from ships that have weak maneuvering thrusters in atmosphere and bring new depth to aerodynamic flight in games. So, what does this mean to you? If you are flying a mission and you know you're going to be in atmosphere, you want to grab a ship that is going to benefit from having wings like the Aurora. Well, not the Aurora, but anything but the Aurora basically. Anything which has wings will perform better in atmosphere. Looking forward to seeing that. And as mentioned in the beginning of this video, the Crusader Genesis Starliner being added to deliverables now. They are building, implementing, and balancing the Crusader's passenger transport, the Genesis Starliner, as a flight-ready vehicle. Disco Lando is celebrating. It is his favorite ship. Personally, I'm not into the passenger transport, but I know plenty of people who will love to fly back and forth between stations, between planets and systems, simply transporting people. You know who you are, you guys playing the Microsoft flying games out there. I know exactly who you are. The RSI Orion, there's a lot to talk about on that ship. Now, it is described as a mining platform. This is not just a large mining ship, it is an entire platform. There are players I know who want to go out to an asteroid belt and just sit there and mine for days, if not weeks, or even if it's big enough, even months. They want to live in the ship. They want to simply wake up in the morning, find a rock and mine it, get the best resources they can, and then have friends basically transport the resources off and sell them for them and bring back things like food and fuel and everything they need. The mining platforms are going to be essential for organizations or for anyone expanding to new uncharted systems. You will need resources, and those resources will go into making everything you need to make the game work. So the RSI Orion, definitely a very important ship, one which will be highly focused upon by all organizations and a lot of players. It's going to be a big money maker, and obviously bring a big jump forward in the mining gameplay in this game. The RSI Lynx been debuted a long time ago. A lot of people waiting for that to come out. They are building, implementing, and balancing RSI's Planetary Rover, the Lynx, as an in-game ready vehicle. Now we have a couple of things being removed from the progress tracker. These are Cutting T2, Charge and Drain, Ground Vehicles version 2. The Akira Cluster Ground Scramble Race is out. Reputation Gates for Missions is out. Counterfeiting and Data Download missions are out. But some things are back, like Dynamic Population, Ladders, and Actor Status T2. Going on to Release View, the following cards have been added. So in 3.15, we have a whole new bunch of hospitals and clinics coming in. New Babbage Hospital, Orison Hospital, rest stops with clinics, Grim Hex Clinic. What does this all mean? This means that Death of a Spaceman, the first iterations are coming in. They've touched on that before, the new death mechanics, and all these hospitals and clinics being set up at all the rest stops and important places. You will have to buy health insurance. This is Space America after all. This is not free. You'll have to pay. And we're looking forward to seeing how that gets implemented. Also coming our way, Loot Generation, recently mentioned on an Inside Star Citizen, showing how you run a mission, you will find some loot. The Asset Manager Mobigloss app, in support of localized inventories, the Asset Manager keeps track of all player-owned items. This will make finding things you own on certain stations a lot easier, or on your ship. Here's an interesting one, Infiltrate and Defend missions. Underground facilities are the first place to benefit from addition spawn closets, which allows to expand the suite of missions taking place there. Missions range from all-out assaults to situations where you may be able to complete objectives without the need to engage in combat at all. Do I hear stealth coming into play? That'll be nice, because most missions right now are run in, kill everything, and run out. But now, more stealth. I like it. Next up, and if you are like me, you've spent many hours in Vandal Swarm, fine-tuning your bindings, getting used to the new capacitor system for weapons, and you've most likely been in the Broken Moon map of Vandal Swarm. Well, there is an update coming to that. The updating Arena Commander's Broken Moon map by increasing overall size, adding new playable areas, more cover options, and new space assets. I see this being an interesting new addition. If you've been locked on by 5-6 new missiles coming your way and you're trying to duck behind an asteroid, well, now there's going to be a lot more places to go hide. I'm very curious to see what they come up with, and I welcome the size increase, because more often than not, if you are like me, you have slammed into the edges of the map quite often. Shops and patrons vastly expand their interactive usables needed for an assortment of shops and patrons. We'll be populating dozens of shops with the vendor behavior previously seen in the bartender. This will include the coffee stand, pizza bar, and kiosks, and more. And with the arrival of all the hospitals and clinics, you obviously need doctors and nurses. So, doctor-nurse AI behaviors. When the player respawns in the medical bed, they'll be greeted by a doctor. What is the nature of your medical emergency? Is what I want to hear from that doctor every time I respawn. Make it so. They'll be greeted by a doctor with dialogue, and a nurse can be seen in the background interacting with various medical-themed usables. Nice, just bring some more life to it. Looking forward to seeing what they come up. Orison version 2, this feature originally stated for Q4 release 1 has been moved up to release to 3.15. Now moving on to 3.16, Area 18 Hospital. On to 3.17, Lorville Hospital, Maria Pure of Heart will be operational. But with all the good things, a couple of things have been removed from the release view, and it is 3.15, Ship Interior OC Streaming is removed. This feature is being rescheduled due to other core tasks taking a higher priority. For this reason, we are removing this card from release view until plans for future have been finalized. So, lots of great details in there, and that wraps up our August 11th Roadmap Roundup. If you enjoy my content, you know what to do. Thumbs up, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next one.